I think that responsibility is somewhat on the coaches, because
It's good for them to hear to the coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a coach in that position, say you don't have access to sending your kids off to work with someone who specializes in that field, I do believe that it is somewhat the responsibility of the coach to educate themselves, at least to a basic level, on what types of things these kids need to be doing. It doesn't need to be extremely complex, but a coach should know, for one, like what the schedule of training should look like. And so what that means is when we have a sport that's seasonal, right, like soccer, your training right before the season starts is going to look really different than your off-season training. And so I guess to kind of flesh that out, if we have anyone in the audience who's listening, what we want that to look like is after your athletes finish the season, they're going to be pretty beat up. We want to give them a little bit of time where they're not doing a whole lot. So they're going to have basically a little active recovery time.
Okay.
After that, we're going to have a good amount of time until we start that next season. And so that's when we do kind of our non-specific strength training. We're trying to get them stronger. We're trying to add some hypertrophy, which is just muscle growth essentially. And then at that point, we're also doing relatively high volume. And high volume just means a larger total amount of movement, larger total amount of exercise. As we get closer to that season,
by the way, this is a blueprint for you coaches. That's the blueprint right here.
Yep. As we get closer to that season, we're going to want to decrease that volume of weight training and make the training that they are doing in the weight room more sport specific. That's going to work kind of in concert with an increase in the volume of practice as they get closer to competition. So they're doing more and more of their sport, less and less in the weight room. And as we get to that point where they're about to start their season, we want the intensity of their work in the weight room to be very, very high. We want the volume to be very, very low.
Got it.
And at that point, the job of the strength and conditioning coach or the coach themselves, from a weight room perspective and a strength and conditioning perspective, is essentially to preserve the performance that we got to right before the season started throughout the season.
Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please subscribe down below. And if you're interested to learn more and watch the full interview, click down here. I'll catch you soon. Have a good one.